Hi guys, it's me, Charles Norman, Sports Solutions LLC. We are the creators of AthleticSOS, and AthleticSOS is a software technology platform and where you can, if you're trying to get an athletic scholarship, you come to our site, absolutely no cost, and we'll show you all of the schools that you academically qualified to attend that have your sport at the level you can participate. And you get that list and you can start doing some of your own exploration and trying to find out where do you want to go, where do you want to be, and then you reach out to them, let them know where you're going to be so they can see if you can play, and then you have just you find out all your options and opportunities, and that's what we want to do. And so last week I did a video, you guys can go look for it, and it was all about why you. Why would a college pick you? There were so many kids that we talked to as we're doing this with the software. We go out and we talk to a lot of the travel club teams, the high school teams, and we give them access to the software. And many of them don't believe that they qualify. There's so many kids that are so good and they just didn't think that they had what it took. And so that is what that video is about. Why you? And I made the case on your behalf. Now I want to do the opposite. Why that school? Why are you choosing the school that you're going to choose to go to? For me, it all comes down to, I don't know why, but there's this fear of making a decision. And I'm in the United States. In the United States, we have a lot of freedom to make any decision we want, but everyone's always full of anxiety and angst and anger because they've made this decision. It doesn't seem fair. They played by the rules X, Y, Z, and everybody's kind of upset, right? In this world, and everybody's nervous. But we always play it so safe, and we always make the decision based on what other people think. So I have, through my career, I've come up with 4 rules that make it so that no matter what decision I make, I never think, oh, I should have went the other way. Because that's where we kind of get into. We always romanticize the decision we didn't make whenever we made a decision that didn't turn out to work where we consider in our favor, the way we thought it was going to go. I've never made a decision and then said, oh man, I really messed up on that one. I should have went this other way. And I'll explain a little bit more because we know every decision I make can't possibly be perfect or correct, right? So how do I not get that feeling of, oh man, I wish I would have gone the other direction? There are 4 things. First one is research. I probably over-research things. People tell me that all the time. I know way too much about something. No matter what I want to get, I'm going to look in, see what the best one is, what are all the options, and then I'm going to whittle down what I'm looking for. But when I'm talking to you guys about an athletic scholarship, because I get it, for most parents, you're going to college to get an education. But you still want to go and play at this school, right? You're using your athletic ability to figure out what school do I want to go to. And as the student athlete, your thought is, I want to play here. Does this make sense for me? What's the best place for me to go so that I can have the best opportunity to play, have the most fun, get the most recognition? Maybe I'm trying to go pro. Who's going to give me the best chance to do that, right? All of this stuff is going on through your head. And that's cool. That is where we're going to talk about our research. So one of the things we do inside the software, which is why I always encourage you guys to get it, first we're going to show you all the schools you qualify for, right? I mentioned that earlier. But now we want to narrow it down. And so if you guys are good enough to play at the collegiate level, you're probably getting letters and inquiries from colleges anyway. So which one of those schools? Should I go to one of those schools, or did I use the software and find out, oh, wait a minute, I've got all these other schools. How do I narrow it down? How do I whittle it down? And so these are the things that I always tell you guys to look at. First, you want to look at where the school is. And I think that's a big deal. I know everyone acts like, hey, you're getting a scholarship. Don't be that person, right? But you want to know where it is. So are you going to want to be there, right? Does it make sense for you to go there? Or is it someplace so far out in the middle of nowhere and that's not the person you are? Then you need to be really, really careful there because you're going to be there for 4 years. Now, I don't think that's a stopping point for me as far as the way I look at life is, no matter where you go, there you are type thing. So I will figure out around there because you're going to meet some people that are going to be interesting anyway. And I approach life completely different in that aspect. But the next thing is, how much does the school cost? You know, most of you guys are going to play an equivalency sport. Remember, there's head count, there's equivalency. And for head count sports, you're going to get a full ride if you're going D1. But if you're going D2, D3, doesn't even give athletic scholarships, but you can still get money. And then there's NAIA, and even if you're going to a junior college across the country, except California, I think it is, they can still give you money. So how much does it cost for you to go there? Because you don't want to come out with a bunch of debt. So I talked about that, I think, the last time. That's really important for you. The next thing will be is, for the team itself, the playing style fit the way you want to play or the way you can play. And again, I can go the opposite way. Maybe they don't play my style, but I come there and I can bring what I do to what they're doing, and I can kind of change up what they're doing. I'm kind of a unique fit for them. So that could work out for you. So look at the playing style. Look at the coaching. Every single college I've seen so far, we've been doing the software through the years. Now you can go in there and you can watch their old games. Watch the coach's demeanor. Look at how they interact with the other players. Look at how they interact with their coaches. Look what they do when things are going wrong. When something goes wrong, the wrong moment, like an intense moment, like an important moment, how do they react to that? You don't want a coach that melts down or gets overly emotional or, is throwing their headset down or stomping. I don't think you want that, but that's up to you. Maybe you like a passionate coach. But anyway, look at all that stuff when you watch it. Look at the kids on that aren't playing right now. Are they standing? Are they watching the game? Are they on the bench? Are they doing claps or hand, whatever it is? And sometimes it's forced. I get it. Sometimes it's for the camera, but a lot of times that's just a sign of closeness of that team and those players just feeling like they belong. Even if I'm not in the game, I belong here. These are my teammates, and I'm going to be all about them. And if it's an individual sport, the same thing. Are those kids getting better and better through the years? Go back and look at the stats. And that's for all the teams, but for the individual players that you play, maybe you're in track and field, or maybe you play tennis, or maybe you play, are they getting better? Are they moving further and further up the line as far as their talent, the way they're playing, their playing time is increasing, or is somebody coming behind them and taking their spot? If they're running track, are they getting faster? That tells you what kind of coaching is going on and how intense the coaching is. And is the coaching all about improving, or is it just about, hey, you came here, you're pretty good, and you're going to stay at a plateau? You've plateaued. Maybe your first or second year. By your sophomore year, you are who you are. No, you want to be getting better and better and better. And your senior year should be the year where you just really shine, right? If you get that far. Those are the kind of things you want. The other thing you want to look for is this team always in the playoffs for their conference? That's huge for you guys. You always want to be in the hunt for a championship of some sort. And so even if it's just a conference championship, it doesn't have to be the NCAA or the NAIA championship. It could just be the conference championship. You want to be part of that. That is where you get those butterflies in your stomach and you're a little bit nervous about what's going on. And you want to be part of that. That's part of being an athlete. I don't want to call it a warrior, but it should be in your blood already, that you want to be uncertain sometimes when you get out there. The other thing I want you to look at is, if you are always in the hunt, is somebody always winning it? Because if you can topple them, that makes a huge thing on your campus. Or are those two teams, are there two teams that battle it out all the time, and there's a third team that kind of sneaks their way in, and then there's 4 or 5 and 6 that get knocked out in the first round? You want to look at that stuff. Can you go in and change the culture there and get those 4, 5, and 6, 7 spots, whatever they are? Can you move them up to the next level? So those are all cool things to be thinking about when you're trying to figure out. So that's the first one. You're going to do research. You're trying to get numbers so that you can see, does it make sense for me to go here? Number 2, I call it being informed, making an informed decision. Every decision I make, I consider informed. And what is informed to me? It's the personal stuff for me. Again, I talked a little bit earlier about, is this someplace I want to be? Does this make me feel like, do they have my major? So I'm going to this college and I have this major, but what about my minor? Major, I always thought of when you go to college, the major should be where I can make money, right? That's really my thought process. When I come out of there, I want to be able to get a job and I want to have a career, and I want to have a career that I can make money. Now, maybe I'm thinking of that from the male perspective, but I would think even for the female perspective, at some point you want to, money just makes a big difference. I get it, everybody. Money's not everything, but it makes a big difference in your life. And I've always thought in terms of, I wanted to have a family. So money was going to be really important to me. But there's other things that I like to do that I think of in that minor. I'm going to have a major when I go to my school. I'm going to graduate in that major. But what's my minor piece? And I've always been really entrepreneurial. And so those are kind of things that I think about. What can I learn? What does this school do that will help me get to where I want to be? And for you guys, it can be completely different. Maybe you're into art, but you want to go get this business degree or this accounting degree, whatever it is. Maybe it's the boring thing that's going to get you your money, but you want to go to a school that's going to allow you the opportunity to do the thing that you love to do. And maybe you can minor in that. And maybe you can marry those two things together, or just be in that field where you can help other people that are in whatever you're interested in, whatever makes you happy. Being around the people that do that greatly and you can help them out, is you're still in that world, even if you're not doing it yourself. So those are the selfish things to me. Being informed means, is this where I want to be? The atmosphere there. Is it in a rural community? Is it an urban community? Is it a suburban community? What kind of environment is it? If I leave that campus, where can I go within a half an hour of that campus that really interests me? Maybe it's someplace that I've thought about being around, or do I just want to be in a peaceful world where there's nothing around me for a whole hour, you know, if I got in the car, I'm not planning on going anywhere. If I do, it'll be with some friends of mine. Maybe I like to be out in nature. I like to hike. I like to do all that stuff. What is the stuff that makes you happy just being at that place? Because you're going to be there for 4 years again. I try to emphasize that quite a bit here. So you've done some research. You're making an informed decision, a little bit selfish just there. What do I want? What do I want to do? And talk this over with your parents or some peers or somebody that you kind of want to bounce things off of before you make this decision on where you want to go. Because once you've made that decision, I want you to go hard and let them know that you want to be there. These are the reasons why I want to be there, because college coaches want to hear, why are you coming here? Why would you want to be here? Not just why do I want you here? I want you here because you can play at the level. But if you really, really want to be here, I know I'm not going to have a lot of trouble with you because you're going to be happy to be where you are. So that's important to the college coach. And they want to hear you say that. Can you articulate exactly what you're all about and why you're coming to this school and why we're important to you? And if you've done a little bit of homework, then you can figure all of that out. The next one is you don't want to make a decision based out of fear. And I mean that both ways, right? The big way is I've got all these letters coming in. This school has the right name on it. It fits kind of what everybody in my world would be impressed with if I go there. And so I'm going to go to this school because for all the wrong reasons. So you should not be doing something out of fear of disappointing or somebody looking down on your decision or anything like that. And then the other thing you don't want to do is you don't want to go the other way because your fear of going to this bigger school that has all these accolades, and you're going to have to go in there and you're going to match up to what their perception is. You can't just go in there and walk in there, but you're afraid you can't cut it. You don't want to do that. You don't want to be the person that doesn't do something in their life because the fear of failure, right? The fear that I can't cut it. I probably don't belong there or anything like that. You still, if you know you can play at that level, but things might go wrong, or maybe somebody else is coming in that's just as good as you. Maybe you think they're better than you and you read about it. Oh, they're going to that school too. I don't think I want to go there. I don't want to compete. Don't ever be afraid of competing because you don't know how that's going to turn out. It could turn out to your benefit. So don't not go there at some school because you're afraid that you can't cut it or somebody's going to beat you out or you're not going to get a chance to play right away or whatever it is that you think could possibly happen. Don't ever do anything out of fear either way, right? And then not go to a school that's got the name and repetition, to not go to a lower school or a different school or a less prestigious school for whatever reason, because your fear is that maybe everyone's going to be thinking that I was afraid to go there or I didn't go to this other school. If this is a place that you want to go, say you're a D1 kid and there's a D2 school that just seems to fit you, it just feels right to you, it's where you want to be and you would be happy to be there, then you go do that. Or is it D3? Or is it NAIA school because you wanted a smaller school with a more smaller person? Well, that's just your personality. And you don't want to break out of that to go to something else that's going to give you anxiety or problems. You don't have to prove anything to anyone else. You do it because you did your research, you're informed about where you want to be, and you're not afraid. And then here's the other thing that I found in my life that has made a world of difference for me, and it's curiosity. If there's ever an opportunity for you to go someplace and something just intrigues me about something, I've done a bunch of times in my career where I'm in line for something over here and then somebody will call and say, hey, you know, we're going to have an opening in this new area. Man, I'm on my way over there. And sometimes it scares you to death because this is a sure thing over here. But over here, this is where the future, but I've done some research and I know if I go over here, this is where and I'm in the technical, I'm in the computer world, right? I know where the world's going because I do my research into the field that I'm interested in. And so I go, hey, this is a great opportunity. And here's the other thing about doing things like that just curiosity. No one else wants to do it. It's brand new. There's a lot of uncertainty. You can't really mess that up. And the fact that you went over there and everybody else was afraid to do it, it's opened up for you because everybody from the outside is like, wow, they went over there. You almost can't fail. It really is just that simple. And it's a weird way of thinking about the world, but curiosity is the key for you to have a successful, wonderful life. It really, really is. But you have to know your industry. You had to have done some research. You have to have made an informed decision on making that move, that this is why I am doing this, and it makes sense. But you can't have any fear. You really, really can't have any fear. And I'm going to get to the final piece of this in a minute. But when I conclude this thing, I want to, this is a philosophy on life that I always have, and I'm going to bring that up. And I want you guys to think about this really, really hard. Okay, but let me go to number 4 before I do that. The fourth thing I always do is, how is this going to affect other people? Can this make someone else happy? And why am I throwing that in? Because really that doesn't have anything to do with the decision for you on your part, if you think about it. But I want us to start getting into the habit of thinking about, can I make somebody else's life happier by the decision, by the school I pick? And how does that even make sense? Okay, so maybe you have some family somewhere else that maybe you have grandparents and maybe they don't live close by you, but there's a school close by them where they, for the first time, can come see you play on regular intervals. And they get to see you a lot too. They never were around you that much. Or maybe you have other family that's out there that you don't get around, some cousins, some aunts, some uncles, something like that. Like you have a support system that's there, and they would be thrilled to death if you were coming and you brought some of your college friends over and you guys came over for dinner, or maybe they had a barbecue and they can show you off. Here's their niece or nephew that goes to college. You could bring some joy to somebody else. Maybe your mom or your dad always wanted to visit a certain area of the country. They always talk about it. You always hear them talk about it. Maybe they're on the East Coast and they wanted always go on the West Coast. Now you're giving them an excuse to take that vacation and get on that plane and come out there. And you know the area now, and you can show them around and they can see all the sights from that area. You're sort of, that is cool. That's you thinking about somebody else. And that's something I want us to get into our mindset. I cannot tell you guys what the feeling is of doing something and making a decision in your life that affects you, but also brings joy to someone else. Once you get that feeling in you, you see that look on their face, and you don't tell them you did it for that reason. You just do it because you thought about somebody else, and it really does change your life. And then you start doing that during the rest of your life, because that is what life is all about, is giving to other people, bringing joy to other people's lives. Remember I said in the last video, one of the things I always tell my nieces, nephew, my kids, obviously, I said, you want to try to have as great a life as you possibly can so you can help other people have a really good life. And you can't do that if you're not living a great life. You always want to have that. You want to have that joy in your heart. You want to have that giving in your heart. You want to be able to just look across the room and go, hey, they're enjoying this, and I helped cause that. That is, it's kind of selfish if you think about it, because that feeling inside of you is going to be just a good, joyous feeling. That's part of what a great life is that ability. It's not just financially being able to pay for everybody for dinner. It's the fact that you took them someplace that they weren't able to go to, and they'll be able to sit there, and they're comfortable sitting there. They don't feel like they owe you back, that or you're putting on big airs about what you've done for them. No, it's that quiet, unassuming way of giving to other people that makes a big difference. So throw that into your thought process on when you're picking this school. So I hope some of this is making sense to you guys. So we want to make sure that we've done our research, that we have the numbers, that it makes sense for us, and we don't come out of school with debt, which is a big one. But all the other things, you want to have a good experience being there. You want to make an informed decision. This is sort of your selfish. This is your internal talking points about what you really want in life and who you really are as a person. One of the big things with being an athlete is there's this thought process about how you think about everything, but all of us have this little geeky back end thing where we like to do, things that don't line up with us being this cool athlete, and we've got everything under control and we know what we're doing all the time. It's exhausting, to be perfectly honest with you, for a lot of athletes, and there's a lot of mental issues that come with that, right? All these expectations on you from family, friends, school staff, everybody, your teammates, your coach, everybody's expecting you to be at this higher level than everybody else. You have all these expectations on you. So when you're making this decision, maybe you make this decision for the first time ever. Okay, who am I really inside? They don't even know about all this stuff, but I want to go over here because, I'm interested in geology, and they've got this cool back area where I can go and learn about this and that. I'm in the rocks, right? Whatever it is that you're all about, this is where you get a chance to make that decision. And then I talked about not living in fear, not making a decision based on fear. I see this over and over and over again, that people that want to make that safe decision, and if you think about it, we're raised, especially here in the United States, that, you go to school, you stand in lines, you follow the rules, you get certain grade, you keep your grades up, you do your homework, you're a good, you don't cause any problems, and then we give you these grades and these scores that let you move up to the next level. And as long as you play by the rules, that you get to have a nice, even life. Nobody's going to mess with you, and you should be okay. You should have a nice standard life. But one of the things you don't want is to get to the end of your life and have regrets because you didn't do other things. And you don't have to go break the rules and be this rebel without a cause type person. I'm not telling you to do that, but you got to stand out on your own. You got to see things you don't make decisions based on fear. And fear can go both ways. The fear that if I don't do it, people will look down on me or people will judge me. That's a ridiculous fear to me. But it's just as bad to not go for it, to not go for the ring, the brass ring, right? You don't go for it because your fear is, I'm not going to make it. Either one of those is wrong to me. So you don't want to do it based on that. You want to do it because this is what you want to do. You made that decision. I'm going to go for it, and it's going to be okay. And then the final piece is try to do something. You're going to make some decisions, and you're going to be making these decisions throughout your life, but you might as well get started now. It's going to benefit and bring joy to somebody else because you made this decision. Yes, it fits you. It's what you want to do, but you took into consideration somebody else that you could make happy too. And so those are the good things. And then here's my final piece on this. I don't believe if you do those 4 things, you will ever make a wrong decision. And here's what I mean by that. Because no matter what road you go down, even if the thought process that you had didn't work out the way you wanted it to work out, you're going to meet people, you're going to be placed in circumstances, you're going to get opportunities, and a lot of times we don't see them because we're not looking for them. I want you to have your eyes open when you go and do anything, any decision you make. Don't romanticize what would have happened, what could have happened if you would have went the other direction. I know we always make that decision would have gone perfect, it would have been positive. You know, we have that set in our head. I don't know why that is. But if you would have went that way, maybe it would have worked out and it would have been fine. But the direction you went is still there for you to have a wonderful life on top of that. Yes, if you go down, life doesn't run like this, right in a straight line. It's always going to zigzag a little bit. Everything that you do, every decision you make, you go, okay, I made this decision. Let me go with it and let me enjoy going down this line. I guess that's the best way to put it. And so you're going to find things. And if you're open up to it, even if everything didn't work out perfect, even if you have to change out, maybe you went to the school and it was just a catastrophe, right? And now I got to transfer and I got to go to this other place. I got to do this other thing. That's still your road. This is the road your life is taking you. And you can find joy. You're going to meet people. Put yourself in a spot where you're around really, really, really good people, that you meet the best people you can, that you're curious about what's going on in your life. That curiosity is going to make a big difference. And I promise you, when you start coming out of the other end of whatever decision you made, no matter how you come out of it, you're going to have a bunch of life experiences that are going to make it better for you as you move forward. And you're going to be able to help other people that are coming behind you, and you can explain why you did something the way you did it, how it went wrong, and they're coming in here with all of this anxiety, and I blew it and everything. You're going to be able to be nice and calm and go, hey, calm down. Here's what we're going to tell me what happened. Why are you feeling this way? And let's figure out what your next move is. And if you can get that in your life, your life's going to be so much better. You won't be running around cursing at the TV, or these people are over here and we don't like them and they don't like you, and you're screaming and hollering at everything. You don't have that life because you've got in your head, yes, everything may not go perfect, but I can make a decision. I can stick with that decision. And if I need to make changes, I can make them. And I'm not full of anxiety and worry about making change off of a decision I made earlier. So if you can get those things in through your head, I think you're going to have a pretty good life and you'll be fine. All right, guys, as always, best of luck to you in all your endeavors. Down below, I give you the code to AthleticSOS. I give you the instructions for how to use it. Absolutely no cost to you. And then you're going to find all of your options and opportunities, and then you're going to be able to make a decision on where you want to go. But these are just some of the things I think you want to keep in mind as you're making that decision and trying to figure out what to do next. And you're never stuck. Just remember that you can always come out of something that didn't go the way you wanted to, and you're never going to make really a bad decision. It's just that you made your decision and it didn't work out on this side. Doesn't mean it was going to work out over there, and maybe it would have worked out over there, but it'll work out your way too. You can always maneuver. Life, this is life. Life does not go in a straight line, and if it did, you wouldn't enjoy it anyway. It wouldn't be much fun. Yeah, it would be nice and comfortable, but it wouldn't be much fun. All right, guys, as always, we'll talk to you later next time, and stay with us. And then for YouTube, we're growing really great. I really appreciate you guys signing up for AthleticSOS. But hit the like button on here and subscribe. Those are 2 things I always got to remember to tell you guys for the YouTube part of this thing, if you're watching on YouTube. We're growing pretty good. I've got some great stuff coming out for the rest of the year. I'm working on it right now, and it's a lot going on. But I'm going to be introducing you guys to a whole bunch of cool stuff that we're doing that I think changes the youth sports game in general. And we just want to do things a little bit differently than everybody else, and we want to get you where you want to be. All right, talk to you later.